Thank you, Faradin, for that kind introduction. I appreciate your presence here tonight. Your Excellency, I can't see you, but the Right Honourable Julie Payette, Governor-General of Canada, the Right Honourable Kim Campbell, former Prime Minister of Canada, IWF President Deborah Trudeau, CEO Stephanie O'Keefe, and Gala co-chairs Madeleine Fakir and Susan Hodkinson. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you so much to the International Women's Forum for inducting me into your International Hall of Fame. When I look at the names of the outstanding female leaders already there, I do feel humbled to be in their company. Humbled and thrilled. As a proud Canadian, I am grateful for the opportunity to accept this wonderful honor from you in my home country. I am particularly pleased that you are honoring me at the same time as Frances Arnold. Frances and I got to know each other last December, as she showed, in Stockholm during Nobel Week. But since then, we have caught up with each other a few times. We have more in common than simply being two women who won Nobel Prizes last year. We were both trained in engineering, and yet we still managed to win the world's top science prize. The one thing that Nobel said we had to do in order to win the prize is give a lecture. So in one morning, the three physics laureates gave their lectures. There was a break, and then the three chemists. As I watched the physics and chemistry Nobel lectures last year, it struck me that out of those 6 laureates, only Frances and I came out from behind the podium and stood on the edge and spoke right to the audience. I don't know if that's because we're women or because we simply like to talk. Now, obviously, the main thing we do have in common is the fact that we won a Nobel Prize in Science in 2018. It is still the only time in its 118-year history that 2 women won science prizes in the same year. This singularity raised questions in the media and the public. Both Frances and I have been asked why so few women have won a Nobel Prize. I feel that it's not up to women to answer that. Men have been making those decisions, so it's up to them to explain them and to help bring the change. Now, over the years, some men have stepped up for women. One example from my own field of physics involves Marie Curie and came early in the last century. The French Academy of Sciences had nominated only Pierre Curie and Henri Becquerel for consideration for the Nobel Prize in 1903. Enter Magnus Gösta Mittag-Leffler. The Swedish mathematician and member of the Nobel nominating committee was an advocate for female scientists and flagged Marie's omission to her husband. Pierre replied to him in a letter that Marie absolutely should be included. So the Curies shared the Nobel Prize in physics with Henri Becquerel in 1903. Absolutely. More than 100 years later, in 2014, the United Nations launched He for She, the UN's Gender Equity Initiative. I know that Phumzile Mlambo I studied so much, Nuka, Executive Director of UN Women, is in your International Hall of Fame, so you may already know some of what I'm about to tell you. In 2015, UN Women launched the He for She Impact 10 by 10 by 10 framework. 10 governments, 10 corporations, and 10 institutions of higher learning agreed to the challenge of improving gender equity. I'm so proud to say that my place of employment, the University of Waterloo, is one of the 10 institutions promoting gender equity. And I commend our President and Vice Chancellor, Faradin Hamdalapur, for his leadership in being an impact champion. The University of Waterloo is about 90 minutes from here by car. That's only at 3 in the morning. The rest of the time we're stuck on the 401. But we are a school heavy on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, otherwise known as STEM. We set 3 gender equity goals to achieve by 2020 and exceeded 2 of them back in 2018. They involve attracting and advancing female leaders into senior academic and administrative university positions to 29%, and increasing the proportion of female faculty to 30%. This year, we met our 3rd goal of increasing the proportion of girls in STEM outreach programs at 33%. So things are getting better, but there is more work to do. As more women go into science, my expectation is that soon more of them will win awards like the Nobel Prizes that Frances and I have received. I look forward to the day when women are recognized so often that we stop counting the number of women honored and instead measure the magnitude of their accomplishments.